Human evolution is a fascinating journey through time. I'll cover key topics like the origin of life, primates, Homo sapiens, migration, and cultural development. The origin of life on Earth, occurring around 4 billion years ago, remains one of science's most intriguing mysteries. The most widely accepted theory is that life emerged from a primordial soup of simple molecules under the right conditions of heat, water, and chemical reactions. This process, called abiogenesis, likely began in Earth's early oceans, where lightning, volcanic activity, and solar radiation may have driven chemical reactions, creating amino acids and other organic compounds. These compounds could have assembled into more complex molecules, like proteins and RNA, which are fundamental to life. The RNA world hypothesis suggests that self-replicating RNA molecules played a critical role in early life forms. Over time, these molecules may have formed simple cell-like structures, eventually leading to the first primitive cells. The exact steps remain speculative, but the gradual transition from non-living chemistry to life was likely a long, complex process driven by the planet's early environmental conditions. Around 2 billion years ago, the development of eukaryotes marked a significant evolutionary milestone. Eukaryotes are complex cells with membrane-bound organelles, including a nucleus that houses genetic material. This shift from simpler prokaryotic cells, like bacteria, to more intricate eukaryotic cells is thought to have occurred through a process called endosymbiosis. In this process, a larger host cell engulfed smaller prokaryotic cells, which eventually formed symbiotic relationships with the host. Some of these engulfed prokaryotes, such as mitochondria and chloroplasts, became essential organelles in eukaryotic cells, providing advantages like enhanced energy production and the ability to perform photosynthesis. The emergence of eukaryotes set the stage for more complex life forms, as these cells could support greater specialization and increased genetic diversity. Over time, eukaryotic cells evolved into multicellular organisms, leading to the development of plants, animals, fungi, and protists, paving the way for the rich biodiversity we see today. Around 600 million years ago, the first multicellular organisms began to emerge, marking a crucial step in the evolution of life. Before this, life was predominantly unicellular, with organisms like bacteria and single-celled eukaryotes. The transition to multicellularity allowed for greater complexity and specialization within organisms. Early multicellular life likely began with colonies of single-celled eukaryotes that lived together and cooperated, eventually evolving into more complex forms. These early multicellular organisms were simple and likely composed of just a few types of cells. Over time, they developed specialized structures and functions, leading to increased size and complexity. One of the earliest examples of multicellular life is believed to be red algae, which appeared around 1.2 billion years ago, but significant diversification occurred by the Ediacaran period, about 600 million years ago. This development laid the foundation for the vast variety of multicellular organisms, including plants, animals, and fungi, that would later dominate Earth's ecosystems. Around 600 million years ago, the first animals began to emerge, marking the birth of the animal kingdom. Early animals were simple, soft-bodied organisms, likely resembling modern-day sponges and cnidarians, for example, jellyfish. These creatures were multicellular, with specialized cells for different functions. The appearance of animals during the Ediacaran period set the stage for the Cambrian explosion, about 541 million years ago, a period of rapid diversification. During this time, many major animal groups evolved, including the ancestors of modern arthropods, mollusks, and vertebrates. This explosion of life marked the beginning of the complex ecosystems that define Earth today. Around 500 million years ago, during the Cambrian period, vertebrates first emerged, marking a major milestone in the evolution of life. Vertebrates are animals with a backbone or spine, which provide structural support and protection for the central nervous system. The earliest vertebrates were small, jawless fish that resembled modern-day lampreys. These early fish had a notochord, a flexible rod for support, and developed the first rudimentary vertebrae, eventually evolving into more complex structures like jaws, fins, and scales. The appearance of jaws was a crucial development, allowing vertebrates to become more efficient predators. Over time, vertebrates diversified into a wide range of species, including the first jawed fish, which appeared around 420 million years ago. This paved the way for the evolution of amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, creating the diverse vertebrate lineages that dominate Earth today. The emergence of vertebrates also led to new ecological roles and evolutionary adaptations. Around 200 million years ago, during the late Triassic period, mammals began to evolve from reptilian ancestors called synapsids. The first true mammals were small, nocturnal creatures, likely resembling modern-day rodents or shrews. These early mammals had several key features, including warm-bloodedness, endothermy, hair, and live births, which distinguished them from reptiles. While dinosaurs dominated the planet during the Mesozoic era, mammals remained relatively small and inconspicuous. However, after the mass extinction event 66 million years ago, mammals rapidly diversified and evolved into the wide range of species we see today, including primates, carnivores, and cetaceans. Around 60 million years ago, the first primates appeared, marking a key point in mammalian evolution. These early primates were small, arboreal, tree-dwelling creatures, likely resembling modern lemurs or tarsiers. They had traits suited for life in the trees, such as grasping hands and feet, forward-facing eyes for depth perception, and large brains relative to their body size. These adaptations allowed them to navigate complex environments and access diverse food sources. Over millions of years, primates diversified into two main groups: strepsirrhines, lemurs and allies, and haplorhines, which gave rise to monkeys, apes, and humans. Around 6 to 7 million years ago, the first hominids, or great apes, and early human ancestors began to diverge from a common ancestor with chimpanzees, our closest living relatives. This divergence marked the beginning of the human lineage. The earliest known hominid species, such as Sahelanthropus cadensis, likely had a mix of ape-like and human-like features. They were still adapted for life in trees but showed evidence of bipedalism, walking on two legs, a key trait of later human ancestors. Over time, these early hominids evolved to become more distinct from other primates, with increasing brain size, more complex tool use, and further adaptation to bipedal locomotion. This period set the stage for the evolution of the genus Homo, which would eventually lead to modern humans. Around 2.5 million years ago, the genus Homo emerged, marking a pivotal moment in human evolution. Early members of Homo, such as Homo habilis, were characterized by a larger brain than their predecessors, as well as the use of more sophisticated tools. These early humans were still relatively small and ape-like in some respects, but had adapted to bipedal locomotion and were increasingly capable of tool-making, marking the start of the Stone Age. The emergence of Homo species coincided with a shift in environmental conditions, including cooler climates, which may have driven the development of larger brains, social behaviors, and the ability to hunt and gather more effectively. Over time, the genus Homo evolved into more advanced species, including Homo erectus, which displayed further advances in tool technology, fire use, and migration, eventually leading to the appearance of modern humans, Homo sapiens. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, first appeared around 300,000 years ago in Africa. These early humans were characterized by a significantly larger and more complex brain than previous Homo species, allowing for advanced cognitive abilities like abstract thinking, problem-solving, and language. Homo sapiens also exhibited a more refined, upright posture and the capacity for sophisticated tool-making, which allowed them to adapt to a wide variety of environments. The emergence of Homo sapiens coincided with the development of social structures, cultural practices, and the ability to communicate through language, all of which played critical roles in the species' survival and expansion. Over time, Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa, spreading across the globe and interacting with other hominin species like Neanderthals and Denisovans. The ability to cooperate, innovate, and adapt to changing conditions helped Homo sapiens become the dominant species on Earth. Around 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens began to migrate out of Africa, marking a significant chapter in human history. This migration, known as the out-of-Africa migration, was driven by climate changes, population pressures, and the search for new resources. Early humans first spread across the Middle East, eventually reaching Asia, Europe, and Australia by around 50,000 years ago. By 15,000 years ago, humans had even crossed into the Americas via the Bering Land Bridge. As Homo sapiens dispersed, they encountered other hominin species, such as Neanderthals and Denisovans, often interbreeding and exchanging genes. This migration led to the global spread of human populations, adapting to diverse environments, climates, and challenges. The development of new technologies, social structures, and cultural practices helped Homo sapiens thrive and ultimately become the dominant species on Earth. These early migrations laid the foundation for the diverse human cultures and civilizations that would develop over time. Cultural evolution refers to the development and transmission of shared knowledge, beliefs, behaviors, and technologies within human societies over time. Unlike biological evolution, which is driven by genetic changes, cultural evolution occurs through learning and social interaction. This process began to accelerate with the emergence of Homo sapiens, as our species developed the ability to create and pass on increasingly complex ideas, tools, and customs. The earliest cultural advances included the use of simple stone tools, fire, and the creation of symbolic art, such as cave paintings, which appeared around 40,000 years ago. These innovations were key to survival, as they allowed humans to hunt more effectively, protect themselves from predators, and communicate. Over time, cultural evolution gave rise to more complex forms of social organization, such as language, religion, agriculture, and trade. As human societies grew, so did cultural complexity. The development of writing systems, technology, and governance structures laid the foundation for modern civilizations. Cultural evolution continues today, with new ideas, technologies, and practices constantly shaping societies across the world. The migration of early humans out of Africa around 70,000 years ago led to the global spread of Homo sapiens, accompanied by significant cultural evolution. From tool-making and art to the development of language, agriculture, and complex societies, humans adapted and thrived in diverse environments. Today, cultural evolution continues to shape our societies, as we build upon the foundations laid by our ancient ancestors. This exploration of human evolution has been truly fascinating. From the origin of life to the rise of Homo sapiens and their migration and cultural advancements, it's amazing how far we've come. I've enjoyed discussing how each step has shaped who we are today and look forward to diving deeper into these topics.